My wife's demanding changes after wine spill by my best friend at our wedding. Me and Ailey met in 2012 through a friend when we were doing a quiz at university. I liked her a lot and I even told her that at the end of the night. But she said she already had a boyfriend, though she was happy that I liked her. 3 years later, I met Eliza at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and we immediately got along really well. We liked talking about politics, music, movies, everything. It felt like we just clicked, like we understood each other perfectly. Eliza's personality was so vibrant. It's kind of hard to explain, but when I first met her, she seemed really smart and passionate, which surprised me in a good way. After that, we were always together, and I was sure we'd be together forever, even before we got engaged. Ailey came back into the picture when I started a new job at an advertising firm, and she happened to work there too. I got a position doing web design. It was a bit awkward at first because of our past, especially since she was now married to her boyfriend from before. But since I didn't really know anyone else at the firm, and we both had partners by then, I figured it wouldn't hurt to be friends, right? And honestly, I'm glad we did become friends because our connection as pals was stronger than any romantic spark we might have had. Ailey is smart and has a playful personality. I'm pretty dry and sarcastic myself, so we have a fun dynamic together. Elisa doesn't seem to feel comfortable when Ailey is around, especially when the three of us are together. She has mentioned feeling left out or like Ailey is teasing her. Personally, I don't see it that way. It's just how we interact. But there have been a couple of occasions where Eliza ended up in tears because of something Ailey said. Once, when Eliza got up from her seat, Ailey sat down next to me to show me a video on YouTube. When Eliza returned, she saw Ailey close to me and felt upset for the rest of the night. Sometimes, Ailey's remarks make Eliza uncomfortable, like when I mentioned missing swimming because I felt out of shape, and Ailey jokingly suggested that we should go together with a playful punch. Eliza didn't say anything at the time, but her discomfort was clear. Things reached a breaking point at our wedding, and I think all the stress really got to Eliza. During the reception, Ailey accidentally bumped into her, causing red wine to spill all over Eliza's dress. She cried the whole evening because of it. Now we're on our honeymoon, and Eliza hopes for a fresh start. But she suspects that Ailey might have spilled the wine on purpose. She's even suggesting that I end my friendship with Ailey. To be honest, I'm not sure what to do. What should my next steps be? Update 1. You might remember I asked for help here not long ago about how to handle my wife's anxiety and hurt feelings about my friend. Well, it turns out I was in the wrong, and I needed to hear it. I haven't been considering Eliza's feelings enough, especially when it comes to the teasing from my friend Ailey. Someone here even suggested that Ailey might be doing it on purpose just to upset Eliza. So I talked things over with Eliza, and we had a serious conversation about what happened at the wedding. I asked her to tell me exactly what went down from her perspective. I was leaving the lobby to go to the dining area, and Ailey was a bit drunk and stumbling from the bar. She was walking slowly at first, but then seemed to speed up when she saw me. We bumped into each other, and she looked embarrassed and made a joke about me resembling Rosamund Pike in Gone Girl before quickly leaving. She seemed ashamed in the moment, but she didn't say sorry. What other people said about Ailey shocked me, but I never heard anything directly from her. It seems like there have been many small but hurtful actions from her that have built up over time, leading to Eliza feeling anxious whenever she's around. I've come to expect weird behavior or uncomfortable comments whenever Ailey is nearby. And Eliza doesn't want to continue having someone in our home who seems to resent her for just being herself. This realization hit me hard. I used to think Eliza's feelings were just about me briefly liking Ailey years ago, but it's clear Eliza is deeply upset about it. She's been miserable during our honeymoon, unable to shake off the memory, and she's worried I'll brush it off. No one should feel like they can't be themselves, especially at home. I realized I've been pretty awful, so I apologized to Eliza and decided to call Ailey to talk about the wedding incident. So I called Ailey, and it didn't go well at all. I told her that Eliza was really hurt by what happened with the wine at the wedding, and that she's been feeling hurt by Ellie's actions for a long time. I suggested that if Ellie couldn't bring herself to apologize to Eliza directly, she should at least contribute towards cleaning the stain on the dress, and that she couldn't even do that. Then our friendship would have to end. Ellie was completely shocked by this. She seemed totally caught off guard, wondering what was so wrong with their interactions that I would go to such lengths. When I brought up the leapfrog comment, she responded by saying that even I call her that, and then mentioned that Eliza has called her Garfield because of her weight and orange hair. Then, when I mentioned how she didn't apologize for spilling wine on Eliza, she got really upset and started shouting. She explained that she wasn't running towards Eliza to spill wine on her dress. She was actually running away because she felt like Eliza hates her and she didn't know how to deal with it. Ailey started bringing up times when Eliza had said funny things to her. But I reminded her that this conversation was about when she had hurt Eliza. Things had gotten so bad that it needed to be addressed. Instead of taking it seriously, Ailey started laughing, which made the situation really uncomfortable. I know she laughs when she's anxious about something. Eliza even asked me if everything was okay from the other room, and Ailey accused me of setting her up. When I tried to explain, she hung up. Later, Ailey's husband, Ewan, called me. He offered to pay for the damage to the dress to make things less stressful for me. I thanked him for the offer, but I explained that I needed to know where Ailey stood regarding what I had just said. Ewan told me that Ailey often makes jokes when she's anxious or uncomfortable, and they've argued about it before. However, he acknowledged that the wedding dress incident was a big deal, and he wanted to help smooth things over as much as I did. Ewan and Ailey offered to contribute to the dry cleaning of Eliza's dress, and they sent a condolences hamper to make amends. Eliza was relieved that Ewan was understanding, but she wasn't happy about Ailey's reaction. She explained that the Garfield comment was always about Ailey's hair, not her weight, and she felt Ailey was trying to make it seem like both of them had been behaving badly. I agree with Eliza. I've never seen her roast Ailey in the same way. Eliza suggested that we try marriage counseling. At first, I was surprised because we've only been married for a month. But if Eliza thinks we need counseling, then there's obviously a problem. So we decided to give marriage counseling a try. And I'm not sure what the future holds for my friendship with Ailey. Update too, so, after the scolding you gave me last time, you'll be glad to know that Ailey and I aren't talking anymore. And honestly, it's probably for the best. Eliza and I got the condolences hamper in the mail, and it was kind of odd. It was mostly soaps, but not fancy ones like you might expect, just regular ones. There were 2 soap dispensers that had a faint rose scent, but you really had to sniff hard to notice it. Then there were some plain white soap bars that didn't smell like much at all, which was confusing. The only things that made it seem like a proper gift basket were a cheap bottle of Chardonnay and a box of Rose's chocolates, which seemed like more effort than the cleaning supplies you'd find at a nearby pub. The strangest thing in the hamper, though? A pair of women's underwear. Not fancy lingerie or anything, just plain white undies. They were actually a bit dirty, with a faint orange stain on them. It didn't make sense to me because if they were meant for Eliza, they were way too big. And if Ailey was trying to make a move on me, they were still way too big. Plus, why would she pick such gross undies to try and seduce me? It creeped me out so much that I called Ailey to ask why there were soap and dirty underwear in our condolence gift. She kept making sarcastic remarks to her husband about hearing a weird noise on the other end of the line. I didn't get anywhere with her, so I insisted that her husband, Ewan, talk to me instead because dealing with her was like pulling teeth. After some grumbling, she passed the phone over, and Ewan asked what was going on. So I explained the whole situation to him. He seemed surprised when I described the hamper as looking like something a janitor living under a bridge would own. He explained that it was supposed to be a small but luxurious package containing several fancy gifts instead of just cleaning supplies. Apparently, it was supposed to include a bottle of Chardonnay, a bottle of Shiraz, a box of Rose's chocolates, a Lindt chocolate bar, crackers, and assorted cheeses. But somehow, All of that got replaced with leftover soaps and his underwear that Ailey thought was hilarious to send to my wife. He was really sorry and embarrassed about the mix-up, and he promised to pay us for the cost of the missing items. I was really angry at this point, but I tried to stay calm and asked to speak to Ailey again. When she got on the line, I told her she had a chance to fix things, but she blew it. She groaned and complained that Eliza's jealousy was ruining our friendship, and she was tired of having to tiptoe around Eliza's insecurities. I disagreed, telling her that she was actually the cause of Eliza's insecurities, and we argued for a while. Eventually, I told her that this had been building up for a long time and that her behavior had been causing Eliza grief for years. Ailey responded by saying that none of this would be happening if Eliza knew how to take a joke. I pointed out that a joke isn't ruining someone's wedding dress and then sending them your husband's dirty underwear. She accused me of betraying my principles for a girl who feels threatened by other women. After the phone call, Eliza wasn't so much hurt as she was confused at first because she wondered if there was a mix-up with the hamper until I explained the joke to her. She seemed resigned to the idea that Ellie would always act badly, and I reassured her that the chances of that happening were slim since Ellie had cut me off for defending her. I think the counseling has made us stronger, and in a strange way, I'm glad this happened. If a friendship falls apart the moment you stand up for your loved ones, then maybe it wasn't a strong friendship to begin with. It's a shame I won't be talking to Ewan anymore. He's a great guy. Question. I just hope that you finally feel stupid and you apologize and make it up to your wife. How the fuck didn't you know your friend was bullying your wife is beyond me. Answer. I have apologized to Eliza multiple times. I should have been more assertive with Ailey and told her to cut her shit out then. I'm aware that this is entirely on me for being permissive towards someone who was really just being a bully towards my wife and trying to do better. Question. I'm glad you're seeing the light, but why were you permissive before? Why was it only now did you finally believe her and confront Ailey? Did you like the attention? Was it easier to dismiss your wife's concerns as being petty over a crush than to critically consider her feelings and the situation? Also, don't you still work with Ailey? Answer. I think it was because I saw it as lost in translation, like it was something that worked with me and Ailey but didn't with her, and assumed that she would figure that it was the sort of banter we encouraged and join in at some point. Eliza's from a very sincere, straightforward family that say what they mean and don't necessarily make jokes like I do. The whole idea would be lost on them, and they would be really confused and upset thinking that we were actually insulting each other. Eliza's brother nearly jumped me once just because I said, "That's plenty," when she was rambling on a little. That's a still game reference for the transatlantic pals across the world. I like it when she rambles. I think it's cute, and it's a running joke between us. But he found it so personally offensive, though. Like he thought that I was just telling her to put a sock in it and started ranting at me for disrespecting his sister like that. Eliza started hiding her face in shame. It was that extreme a reaction. I think I should have been paying more attention, though. Eliza told me that when she's tried to chat to her, Ellie's just been like, "I don't do small talk," and they've sat in complete silence. Apparently, when she tried to chat at another time, she was totally noncommittal and yawned so loud that it woke up our dog. I only found this out recently because Eliza didn't want to inconvenience me, and I feel so ashamed of my behavior. I felt like there was just crossed wires, but Ailey really was bullying Eliza and finding creative ways to essentially make her uncomfortable and squeeze her out of our dynamic. I don't know why or how she thought any of that was appropriate, but it's irrelevant as my wife should never be scared of telling me how she really feels. Yeah, I work with Ailey. That is a complication that I hadn't considered. I wouldn't worry about her causing drama in the workplace because she values her job greatly, but I wouldn't be surprised about some passive-aggressive attitude being thrown my way. Oh well. I guess I'll have to wait and see what happens, but I'm uninterested in any form of reconciliation if she's going to be that disrespectful.